my Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your to be a soulmate read. That's hard to say all of a sudden. Mid-September to mid-October 2020, I am your reader. Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short. Professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo, Lyons. But you can call me Mal. Hi, hello my subscribers. Welcome back my aqualungs, my aquariums. I love you so very much. Got to see a dear friend of mine, an Aquarian, last night. Had a little bit of a health scare. Thought they were exposed to the you-know-what, but they weren't, so they're okay. Yay. Gave him a big hug. Bless his big heart. I love my aquariums. You guys are really, really good friends. You've been very, very good friends to me, so it's my honor to serve you, particularly if you've already subscribed to my channel, and if you haven't, please do, because I'm trying to get to 30,000 subscribers so I can do the membership thing. I'm about to do the twin flame reads on Monday, God help me, and I'm going to do an extended, which means I have to upload them to Vimeo, which is fine. I love Vimeo. Vimeo on demand is a bit much every year to pay, but worth it if everything sells well, or I'd be able to put the extendeds right here on YouTube. So if you're feeling it, please do. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment, and anything else you can think of that tickles your fancy, friends of the universe aquariums that you are. Let's get down to business. This is a new reading. I love this new spread, this new reading, to be a soulmate read. It's to answer 3 questions that are all the same question, essentially. Number 1, how can I be a mate to my own soul, right? Be a better mate to my own soul. It's the self-love, it's the self-care, it's the spiritual work, it's the internal work, it's the healing work, it's all of that inside of Rise. Essentially what we would look at in the Path of True Love reads. This is an extrapolation, I guess, of a Path of True Love read. And you could certainly go check those in the past too, because those are also timeless, right? The ones I've already done. That being said, the other 2 questions are, what do I need to be a better soulmate in the soulmate contracts I already have? Which can often be about being a better soulmate to yourself, right? As well as how can I be the soulmate that I want to be in the type of contract that I've always wanted, my heart's desire. Usually the happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, romantic soulmate contracts, because you have more than one soulmate, and they're not all sexual or romantic. My mom and I are soulmate contracts. There are links in the description box that will explain that. Both me and the spiritual teacher, author, Hay House author, Matt Kahn has one in there, Soul Contracts, Twin Flames and Soulmates Redefined. Go watch it. It's really good. And his healing mantra deck is the last card down, because we are only doing 11 cards. 2 healing systems, Carolyn Mace archetype cards, and the healing mantra deck. 1 each of those, and then we'll get 3 oracle cards. 1 from the Kuan Yin Oracle, 1 from the Blue Angel Oracle, and 1 from the Whispers of Love Oracle, all from the same company, Blue Angel Publishing. Adore those that company, really. Then we'll get you 6 tarot cards, 3 Daughters of the Moon, timeline for what's going on inside of you. We'll have the Mythic Tarot for what's going on outside of you. Relate, you'll see, those are fun. You've probably watched your other signs already by the time you got to this these last 2, Aquarius and Pisces. And then we will end it with the Matt Kahn healing mantra, so you have a mantra to work with. Mid-September, mid-October 2020. All the decks that I just talked about are all in the description box below as well, giving credit where credit is due. This is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you want more, book me. I'm really easy to book. Find me on Facebook. Send me a message. Put the word reading somewhere in it, and we can do a video call read. You can pay me through PayPal, all that jazz. This is what I do for a living. Professional intuitive. Let's rock and roll. Take a nice deep breath. Because all of that exposition is just to get me to that breath that I just did. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves have all involved. Right? Business is out of the way. Let's now get to work. 1 card in clarity for the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sides. The archetype that they need to alchemize from lead to gold, shadow to light, toxic to healthy, to be a soulmate mid-September to mid-October 2020, or timeless. What is that archetype, please, my collective pantheons? Now, it's gonna sound scary, so take a deep breath. I'm serious. Take a deep breath, hold it for a second. Let it out. Okay? Because the light side of this is great, big, huge, but the dark side sounds terrifying. It is the destroyer archetype, and we've all had tantrums. It's not about that. But you do notice there's an image of a volcano. Now, here's the thing. making way for new life. I'll read what's on the card for sure, but volcanic ash is some of the most fertile stuff on planet Earth, hence tropical islands that are volcanic, right? It's like pineapples growing out of cracks in the sidewalk. So the shadow attribute, this is what you're afraid of, intoxication with destructive power. Been there, done that, have the burnt steak. Destroying others' dreams or potentials. Spoiler. The destroyer then is also the spoiler. I remember when the movie The Doors came out with Val Kilmer. We saw it opening weekend with my first husband at the time. It was the early 90s. Walked outside, huge line of people. We were all just stoned out of our brains, and I screamed at the top of my lungs, "He dies in the end!" The whole line of people cracked up. That's not being a spoiler, that's just being funny in the right time. But you get the idea, right? Destroying other people's dreams or potentials is being a spoiler. Pissing in their Cheerios. Light attribute, releasing what is potentially destructive, right? Think of that. Releasing that which is potentially destructive. Like you want to punch somebody in the face, but you find a way to release that vibe, that energy in a healthy way, not repressing it. That's just going to make it explode later. Releasing it in a healthy way, right? Preparing for new life, right? It's a purge. It's a transformation. That something must be destroyed, right? It's like, it's sort of like the death card in this sense, that the child must die for the adult to be born, right? The bud must die for the blossom to be born. But that's part of the transformation, and certainly there's a fertility here. That the destruction makes way. Yeah, it's the cycles of life too. You have to have erosion before there's renewal. It's just how it works. So these next three oracles, as I said, will help clarify that a little bit. So you might be feeling, if not purely angry and rageful, but if you're a social justicer, as Aquarians can tend to be. I can imagine that with what's going on the planet right now. Wanting to destroy the old, that is very much a second wave divine masculine thing. To destroy the old, social justice, so that the new can be born. And the new is supposed to be born, absolutely. But if you are also an empath or a first waver, you might be so whether you're divine masculine, divine feminine, however you feel that out, these next two cards at least should help, because we're doing the Kuan Yin oracle, and we'll get what you need from the divine feminine point of view, her divine feminine point of view of compassion and love. Breathe. Yeah, Kuan Yin, this feels like a big deal, absolutely, with this destroyer archetype. I'm pretty sure either part of the action or the wild family of archetypes. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Feels like it could be both. So please, one card in clarity for the Aquarian Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. What do they need from your point of view, from your divine sacred heart of compassion? What do you say they need mid-September to mid-October to be a soulmate or timeless? The Threshold. That's interesting. The Threshold. Card number 39. Now, obviously, the threshold speaks of moving from one thing to another, right? From one room to another. And it's interesting, the etymology of the word threshold. It's when we used to have thresh, like a thresh broom, right? Those bristles on the floor. That would be the flooring of the house, and they would have this little board right at the door of the entranceway that would hold the thresh in. Raised by a teacher. Card number 39, the Threshold. At the threshold you stand. Okay. Before you lies a way of being that is beyond fear. It is a sacred passing through a karmic veil into a new life of empowerment, peace, spiritual service to humanity, and joy in your own soul. That explains the destroyer, right? It's like your old life has been destroyed, is being destroyed, preparing you for a new life. I mean, it says right there, beyond a life beyond fear. It is a sacred passing through a karmic veil into a new life of empowerment, peace, spiritual service to humanity, and joy in your own soul. So the mating of your own soul is going to be, this is part of the soulmate journey, destroying who you once thought you were, but who you never were. You only thought you were. With that card of the threshold, let's get you the prayer on this one. Prayer for the passing of the threshold. Breathe. May I be blessed under the compassionate love and protection of Kuan Yin as my soul prepares to cross the threshold from fear to love in all dimensions of my being. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Blessed be the jewel in the center of the lotus. Om Mani Padme Hum. So there is a major transformation going on for you, at least inside, right? No, that might be on the outside too. We'll see. The timeline will show that too with the tarot, what's going on to an extent. And again, this is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But this is a spiritual transformation. Then you're moving into a life of spiritual service to the awakening of all mankind. So whatever you're going through, you need to go through, though it may be destructive, right? Destroying illusions. The paradox of destroying illusions, or illusions aren't real. So how can you destroy something that was never real in the first place? And yet, look at the illusions. The chains that bind, the chains of smoke, right? They aren't even real. Let's ask Archangel Michael, shall we? Breathe. Hello, delightful, delicious, lovely Archangel Michael. We love you so much. We'll talk later. Please, one card in clarity. I'm flirting with an archangel. Please, one card in clarity. For the Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, please. What do they need to be a soulmate? All right, they're dealing with the destroyer archetype, so your grace and protection would be helpful. Now, they're already getting the grace and protection from Kuan Yin there to help them move through the threshold. Their soul is moving through, sort of bringing their personality and their ego along with them, destroying what needs to be destroyed. So please, from your perspective, what do they need mid-September, mid-October 2020 or timeless to be a soulmate? Wings of light, positive news, bingo, bingo. Really good card. It's come up before. Even though this deck, both of these decks are relatively new to my practice, I'm really, really, really enjoying them. And there are certain ones you remember. Number 27. The numbers are teeny tiny. Itty bitty little kingdom. Wings of light, positive news, card number 27. A positive result or a joyful message arrives and brightens your day. Once you receive it, you may want to pause for a moment to reflect on the people and things that matter most to you. Thank the universe for the gifts of love, friends, family, community, country, world, universe. Is it not all important? Is it not all a blessing? The universe is inside of you, for you are the luminous essence from which all stems. Let us give thanks for this eternal blessing and great mystery. Positive news coming in. Now you can take that face value. It's like, oh, Archangel Michael's saying some good stuff's coming. Sure. But with that part of the threshold, it might be the very thing calling you through. Right? The news kind of pulling you forward. Do you know that news stands for north, east, west, south? Every day I get a little bit closer. We learn a little bit more every day. Wings of light. So, you know, very element of air there, one would think. But let's see if we can get a little bit more on that. Asking the higher selves. Now, we're not spending a lot of time there with Archangel Michael because it's kind of really folded into the threshold. It's like this new life that you're moving into. It's not just about you. It's about your role in the awakening of humanity, the blessing of all of life, right? The unity consciousness aspect of this. But some piece of positive news coming your way on Wings of Light. Reminds me of an old spell I used to do. In the streets of Boston in the 80s. Breathe. Wings of light. Please, higher selves of all involved. One card in clarity. For the Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Lots of wings of light up there. Yeah, what do they need to be a soulmate, right? To be a better mate to their own soul, to be a better soulmate in their already existing contracts, as well as to be the soulmate that they want to be, you know, that happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, if that's what they want, right? That romantic, sexual one that people have been working on lifetime after lifetime, same souls, different bodies, right? What is your piece of information, inspiration, or insight that they need to be a soulmate mid-September to mid-October 2020 are timeless. Like attracts like. If you are longing for more love in your life, you need to be more loving. So you're walking into a threshold here, walking through a threshold into a whole new life, and one that is about giving love and receiving love, but that with that energy of the destroyer, this is not easy for you. Not the loving part, but the process of what is being taken away from you. Now look, I am not going to be naive enough to say that everybody is losing everything that's important to them, or what they love to them has been wholesale destruction, right? But I will say our way of life as humanity, as it was, is gone. So there is a respectful mourning that we need to go through individually, perhaps even collectively, of saying goodbye to what once was. Just planet Earth as it is right now. But then if you can see how your healing of yourself, you becoming the mate of your own soul, that you are helping to heal the collective of that loss, because everyone experiences loss in this world. Everybody has wounds of loss. I don't know anybody who was raised to deal with loss really, really well. Go ahead, cry, honey, mourn. Right? Usually it's not how I was raised, certainly. Suck it up, right? Different than the loss of a family member or a loss of well, I can't call them pets, my fur family. But, you know, losing at a game, losing an opportunity, losing the love of your life, which has happened to me in this life, not through death, but through distance, which is worse in some ways. So to get that, this is a threshold. There's some loss needed here. Something's being destroyed in order for you to move through. Now, I'm not getting the death card here necessarily, that vibe, as much as like life itself is just ripping apart that which doesn't serve anymore, for you to move in to this much more positive news, where I get the sense that the communicating of sharing love, if you're looking for more love in your life, you need to be more loving. I feel like that's going to be a lot easier as this goes. So how about we do that? Let's look at a simple timeline. 3 cards of the Divine Feminine, more the internal, emotional, mental, psychological part of it, and then we'll look what's going on the outside to layer it, right? Nice deep breath. Yes, my goddesses, Athena in particular, please, I need 3 cards in clarity. A simple timeline of past, present, future for the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, mid-September to mid-October. What do they need, Great Goddess? To be a soulmate, to be a better mate of their own soul, a better soulmate in their already existing soulmate contracts, or to be the soulmate that they are dreaming to be with another soulmate that they are wanting to be in their hearts for their well-being and for the well-being of all. Please, can I get a card in the past for them? Can I get a card in the present for them on this journey? Almost had that one. Please send it around again if that's the one. If not, please leave it in my hand. Great gray-eyed Athena. Please, 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 please. This one, this one. And where are they headed? What is the card of the future that you would have them see, know, deal with in terms of being the soulmate? Mid-September, mid-October 2020 are timeless. And while we are here, let's get the God energy on top of that so we can see both Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine together. My gods, my beloved gods, Heracles in particular, the performer of the 12 labors, the great hero regaining his divinity. Please, 1 card for the past, 1 card for the present, 1 card for the future in this simple timeline. For the Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, mid-September to mid-October. What do they need to be a soulmate? Where have they been in this becoming a soulmate journey? Where are they now? In this becoming a soulmate journey, where are they headed in this becoming a soulmate journey? I'll take that one, sure. I don't usually take kickers, but I will take that one for mid-September, mid-October 2020 or timeless. Well, you got the Lovers in the past position with the Leo card. Now, life-changing decision is what the Lovers card is always about. Here you have Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite, power, wisdom, and love, the threefold flame of the heart. To make wise, lovingly powerful decisions is always the challenge, right? Wise, lovingly powerful decisions, right? Not the easiest thing in the world. Now, if this represents an actual Leo, wonderful. Then there's a decision that you made about this fifth house. You feel that? Oh, also your opposite sign. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I've seen a lot of that in these reads, interestingly enough. The opposite sign of Aquarius is Leo, fixed fire to fixed air. So there is some tension here. This decision that was made, remember Aphrodite is the one who got the golden apple. This is the judgment of Paris, not the city, the mythical hero. The wedding of Cadmus and Harmonia, the goddess of discord, hucked a golden apple into the wedding reception, written on it to the most beautiful goddesses. These three goddesses went for it. None of the gods would say who it was, so they got Paris to do it. A life-changing decision actually started the Trojan War, and therefore the Odyssey, the Iliad, and the Odyssey, and all of that. It's a lot, all from one bad apple. One bad golden apple, because they didn't invite discord to the wedding, because who would? Be careful of your guest list. With this Leo card, this is really either someone who has that vibe in them of that creativity and that sexuality, that pleasure, that leonine, just bask in the sun, adore me kind of vibe. Queen of Wands, if you want to go there in the traditional tarot. But that could also be your own creativity. That could be your own sexuality that in the past you had a major life-changing decision about, or might still be in that process. Where are you now? This card of the moon keeps coming up in the center position. It just happened for the Capricorn read. So if you have any connections to Capricorn, check that one out. Yemaya on the inside, right? Because this creativity, yes, instead of being a person, could very much be your own creative energy in the yin on the inside that you've made some major life-changing decision about. With this now, maybe not so sure, that card of the moon, really kind of feeling more the intuitive, emotional, like you feel like I keep getting this thing. It's like, well, I don't know, because you're Aquarians, right? You want to see things from the stratosphere to know what the strategy is. It's Athena, right? Where this is definitely lunar. This is definitely more of that intuitive. You're on the right path, because on the outside you got the Two of Pentacles, balance, right? You're really trying to, Eight of Pentacles, it just looks practically the same. The two cards do look alike. This is Eight of Pentacles. You're doing the hard work on the outside, right? You're doing it. Your head is down. You're doing the internal work, one would think, or at least really building for yourself a solid foundation in your life. Not an initial one, but an extended one. I love the Eight of Pentacles. It's very much a Virgo card, in my opinion, right? It's usually the head is always down, right? At your work, doing your thing. You may not be letting on what's going on inside of you, though, is what I get from that, too. So it's interesting. You've got this Leo energy in the past, which tends to be more warm and fun and like, I don't know, like warm honey, right? That kind of like, oh, it's sweet and it's warm and it's nourishing and it's a little sticky where it needs to be. Sticky and sweet. Then to this real more of a focus of getting down to work. Like maybe this is working on yourself, working on a relationship with somebody, or bringing your creativity into form as you mate with your soul, as you do this more deeper internal dive into the unknown within you. Now look, it's different for water signs. Water signs our whole lives. I mean, I'm Pisces moon, believe me, I'm really in some ways more of a water sign than an earth sign. 4 planets in Virgo, whatever. There is that depth, right? That feeling, that empathic part, that you might be feeling all sorts of emotions, but on the outside, I don't want to say business as usual. I want to say business a little bit busier than usual, working a little bit harder than usual, which would make sense with the destroyer archetype, right? Kind of clearing things up, moving through the threshold. Although really positive news and something lovely coming to you with that like attracts like thing, particularly with the lovers in the past. Yeah, let's see, where are you headed with this? Well, interesting. Like I said, a lot of these pentacle cards look exactly alike. On the outer, you've got the 4 of Pentacles. So you go from the 8 to the 4. That's not a loss. That's saying perhaps guarding your heart, while on the inside, you analyze. That's my Aquarians, right? My air signs going back and forth, Two of Blades, not indecision, gathering information. Well, if I look at it this way, it's that. But if I look at it that way, it's not like pro and con, this way or that way. Maybe this isn't a decision-making process yet, but with the Four of Pentacles, you might be sort of shielding your heart a little bit. Fours are numbers of rest. So with this like attracts like, this might be more in terms of you kind of looking at things, well, do I like that? Do I like that? But from more of a mental place, keeping in mind that with the Destroyer and that you're being called through a threshold, you might be presented with a whole new set of things. And what you used to like, you might not like anymore. It's been destroyed. You might really be rising from ashes in a way. Like I said, I didn't see the Death card here, and the Death card is certainly not on the table here. But with that card of Destroyer and the Threshold, it reminds me of Terry Pratchett and The Dark Door. Not the name of a book. The Door of Death, right? That death escorts you through. But into like more positive news, into something beautiful that not just heals you and blesses you, but the world. I mean, that's the quantum nature of unity anyway. But some decision that you made here about your own creativity, good fortune, pleasure, fun, sex, romance, some decision you made either with someone else or yourself, because that's going to play itself out differently depending on who's watching this, has brought you to a time of internal work. We're going to do this in when I pop up the picture at the end anyway. But in terms of this timeline, it's still you're holding back, which as air signs I get, until you're really sure, right, that you've analyzed it. With that Four of Pentacles on the outside and that Two of Blades on the inside, you're really making sure that you have thought this one out, which is a wise thing to do. It's very Athena, right? It's so funny. It's very Athena, the Two of Blades, and it's very Heracles, the Four of Pentacles, right? That strength of holding your ground, tempering your power, perhaps. One last card down. Like I said, we only got 11 of them on the table. This would be a lovely thing to do in a private reading for sure. And easy enough to book if you want to kind of look at how can I... Because a lot of these reads that I see on YouTube, and blessed be, it takes all types, different levels of consciousness about when it's going to happen. When is it going to happen? This is more about, you don't have to wait to be a soulmate. You already are. You just need to realize it for yourself, right? And call in your own soul, mate with that, and then look at the other soulmates already in your life, those relationships, right? If you're going to analyze, like, what are the relationships where we help each other heal? And you might find you have more than you realized, right, in that process, and then get that you really are free, you are supported to walk into this new world. So let's ask the Ascended Masters of Soulmate Contracts, what's your healing mantra? Breathe. Oh, that's delicious. Please. My Ascended Masters of Soulmate Contracts. I need one card in clarity, the perfect healing mantra for the Aquarian Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Mid-September to mid-October or timeless. What do they need? What is the healing mantra they need to be a soulmate? Better mates their own soul, better soulmates in their previously already existing soulmate contracts, or to be the soulmate that they really want to be in their heart's desire, right? What they've been shooting for lifetime after lifetime. The happy, healthy, wealthy, wise ones. You know what I'm saying. The mantra that you need is embracing worthiness. I feel worthiness filling every cell of my body, and it feels amazing. This is the self-love. This is about embodying the soul. This is about being who you really are, being spiritually authentic. Now, I will read that from the book, but I have to say, when I first got this card, I got this deck in about mid-December. Been working with it pretty much every reading ever since, except maybe one. They're really, really wonderful tools. A mind tool, right, is what the word mantra means in Sanskrit, among other things. This one I didn't feel right away. I had to really work it, right? I feel worthiness filling every cell of my body, and it feels amazing. The first day you do it, you may not feel it. It might feel inauthentic, but that's the subconscious mind getting comfortable with the idea that every cell of your body can be filled with worthiness, right? It comes as it comes, little by little. And it feels like that might be an aspect of this hard work that moves things emotionally within you with that card of the moon, that deeper dive. Very powerful read here. So let me read you what's in the book, shall we? Embracing Worthiness. Then we'll pop up the picture and see what else they show me. Embracing worthiness. I feel worthiness filling every cell of my body, and it feels amazing, like a touch of Thor there. When worthiness dawns, you know that life has a bigger plan in store, which I'm telling you, on the table it does. Just with those first two cards and the wing of light thing from Archangel Michael, there's something way bigger going on here than you could be aware of. You are able to navigate the highs and lows of each moment, aware of greater cosmic forces at play. Worthiness grants you permission to honor all that you are and moves you in the direction that fulfills your deepest passions. And I feel like that's this card of the destroyer. If you're feeling those impulses to destroy, give them love, give them voice, just do no harm with it, right? You are being guided in a position. Look, there are some times, yeah, and I'll just say it outright. There are some times where you're scripted to be an asshole and burn down the village. I've done it. It's at a time where enough is enough, right? And you stand up for yourself, and like Athena, you draw the sword and the spear and you have at it. Just be careful, because there is positive news coming, and we'll definitely do that in the overview as well. The last part of this mantra is ideal for feeling more joy, working through creative blocks, and maybe that has to do with this leonine energy here, the Queen of Wands, and helping the body heal. And I wonder, is there a physical aspect part of this, right? I mean, I'm seeing a lot of coins here, at least in the current and future positions here. So is there a physical healing thing here that embracing worthiness would serve? Let's pop up the picture and see what else happens. Breathe. Magic clap. And we've got the Destroyer archetype in its shadow attribute: intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potentials, maybe even your own. The light attributes: releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. And I think that's very much what is going on here. You are preparing for new life if you're not in it yet, though not seeing that really in the timeline, but you are preparing. You're at the gate of the threshold. You're at the threshold. Ready. Kuan Yin is just helping you move from the old into the new. And of course, some things are not going to make it through the door. Some things are not going to make it through the threshold. It's just like into fifth dimensional unity consciousness. Racism is not going to make it into that. It can't, because the truth is that we are all one. It is the consciousness of oneness, right? So there are just certain things that are just going to have to be destroyed. They're just going to fall apart and disintegrate, right? And that is positive news, right? With the wings of light here from Archangel Michael calling you forward. There is such a wonderful new life waiting for you. Positive news, not just for you, not just for your friends, not just for your family, but for all of humanity. But you have a very personal role in this, hence the walking through the threshold. Only you can walk through the threshold, right? But with like attracts like, how you go through this, if you are longing for more love in your life, you need to be more loving. So take that as it comes, learn that. And now looking at that Eight of Pentacles in the present moment, that's maybe what that card of the moon with the Eight of Pentacles, right? That like attracts like, the magnetic pull of the moon, how it pulls the tides, to feel that love and move that love through you, merging with your own soul, mating with your own soul, lighting up with that love, and then sending that out. Because in the past, we have this Leo energy inside of you, this fixed fire, this fixed passion. And indeed, this card of embracing worthiness is about fueling you, sustaining you, supporting you with worthiness so that you can follow your passions here. And with that card of the Lovers, it feels like the decision has already been made in the past. Hopefully it was a lovingly wise, powerful, empowering decision, even if it is to destroy something which no longer serves, right? Making way for new life. As we said, that Eight of Pentacles, that hard work, really work this mantra. I'm just kind of really feeling that for like attracts like, the more worthiness, right? I feel worthiness filling every cell of my body and it feels amazing. The more amazing you feel with that Yemaya card, like a tide of amazing. It's not going to last forever. It's going to wax and wane. It's going to ebb and flow. But to really work with that love and that energy, moving through every cell of your body, body and out into the world. Hence, in a way, stepping through the threshold, right? Bringing you to this Four of Pentacles with the Two of Blades. Two of Blades are still going to be this gathering of information. This is a learning curve. The card of the Fencers there, the Two of Blades, the back and forth, seeing it from other people's point of view, at least mentally, in terms of, well, if I make that move, they make that move. It can be strategizing. Just be careful of too much apprehension, right? To try and figure out what every possible outcome is. With that Four of Pentacles, guarding the heart, holding on, maybe being a little bit more of a miser than a Midas on that one. But that's part of the process too. So maybe this is pulling back and seeing things differently. Yes, there may be a lover's contract in here for you with that lovers in the past, but this feels more singular. This feels more like you mating with your own soul, you kind of doing your own work, and you may be even setting up some healthy boundaries there while you analyze, while you go back and forth on this in your mind. You are, after all, an earth sign, sun, moon, rising, Venus, Aquarius sign, whatever you are. But with the embracing of worthiness here, I feel worthiness feeling every cell of my body, and it feels amazing. Again, if you can really work that, it feels like you will not be so worried about the destructive, because what is being destroyed by the destroyer might very well be old patterns of unworthiness, old boundaries that no longer serve, old relationships that do not serve, a decision to allow your light, your creativity that you've already made to come through. Now you're in the interior work of that, and only you can create a sense of self-worthiness. It is self-worthiness. So I feel worthiness filling every cell of my body, and it feels amazing. It's certainly a mantra that you can work, that you can put your head down and really talk to your body, talk to your cells, right? Give yourself the love and the approval, the worthiness that only you can. And we really are looking at stepping through a threshold into a whole new life of positive news. Maybe not positive news 24/7, 365. This still is 2020, mind you. Barbara Walters, and this is 2020. Nonetheless, it's a very, very stable reading for you in process of becoming the soulmate you want to be. So, may the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need to be the soulmate that they can be in this lifetime, or at least mid-September to mid-October 2020, that they may destroy that which no longer serves, preparing for a new life, releasing what is potentially destructive, stepping through the threshold into a life of greater service, greater love, greater wisdom, greater power, with these wings of light flying in, bringing positive news, and getting that like attracts like, becoming more loving, attracting more love into their life in every interaction, in particular their currently existing soulmate contracts, as they embrace worthiness, getting that every cell in their body can be filled with worthiness, and it does indeed feel amazing if you do the work. And may they do their work for their well-being, for their healing, for their self-love, for the mating of their own soul, for the blessing of their soulmate contracts, known and unknown, past, present, and future, and therefore blessing all of life for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is, and that's an Aquarian read. When you get the holographic nature of what's really going on and why it's so important for the soulmates to get together, because they're going to increase the amount of love in their lives individually, as well as together as a couple, as well as it's going to spill over into the people around them, and eventually into the whole world. And according to the quantum, simultaneously. That's the part that's hard to wrap the mind around, but maybe that's part of the positive news indicated here. So thank you so much for watching. So mote it be. May you be so blessed. Please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and all of that jazz. Help me get to 30,000 so I can do my my extended reads here as well. Otherwise, wishing you the very best and the very blessed mid-September to mid-October 2020 are timeless, my aquariums. I love you. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.